Hey, hello, Top Fan Rivalry followers. Another episode of Friars on deck. Rick, there's been so many changes with the Padre. No, I'm just teasing. How you doing this morning?
I am doing well, Bill. Thank you. Again, I am Rick. He's Bill, and this is episode 5, I
Yeah,
believe, right? Of
yeah, this
Friars
is
on
it.
Deck.
This is it. Like this is it
Th-
on YouTube. Everything else is in the locker room
yeah, we're approaching the home stretch. Pitchers and catchers have officially reported.
now. Yep.
Now that now that the score is final on the Super Bowl 58, the Kansas City Chiefs are once again Super Bowl champions. And
Boo,
a
boo.
tradition, yeah, boo, right? It was what we all knew was coming. So is anybody surprised? Absolutely not. Um, my favorite part about the Super Bowl ending is it is the official start, in my eyes, of baseball season. That's
Amen
it.
to that.
All eyes are on baseball. I don't care about the NFL draft. I don't care about NBA. Um, I follow UFC very religiously in addition to baseball. I'll keep, of course, I follow hockey for my Golden Knights, but all eyes are on baseball right now. I said I don't care about the NFL draft. Wake me up when March Madness starts, but other than that, we're focused on baseball right now.
Love it.
And that being said, uh, we're still trying to figure out the direction of where the Padres are headed going into spring training. Not much has happened, honestly. It's been one of the slower off seasons. Former Padre Blake Snell is still a free agent, despite winning a Cy Young with the San Diego Padres. Has yet to find a new home.
Mhm.
So we have to ask ourselves: is he going to re-sign with the Padres, or his asking price is way too high? Which is kind of mind-boggling considering some of the contracts that have already been handed out this offseason. Other guys still out there, Matt Chapman, we know he's not going to be a fit for the Padres. Tommy Pham still yet to be unsigned. Jordan Montgomery, if the price is right, seems like he could be a good fit for that Padres rotation. But
Okay.
again, we talked about this on the last podcast. Um, you know the TV deal or the lack of a TV deal is what's really affecting their willingness to spend. Cody Bellinger, another name out there that is still yet to sign. So there's still quite a few names out there. The only major significant change that we have seen within the Padres, they one of the biggest holes that they needed to fulfill was the outfield. As of right now, it looks like their newest signing they brought back. I don't know if it's a fan favorite, but definitely a guy that I don't mind having on the team. Jurickson Profar is back on a 1 year deal. He ended up opting out of his contract in 2020 at the end of the 2022 season, hoping to get a larger deal. Searching for greener pastures, right? Ended up signing a deal with the Rockies, didn't quite work out, and Padres brought him back. He's a free agent once again, and so comes full circle. They can't seem to quit each other. So he's back
Yep.
with the Padres. Looks like as of right now, he would be our starting left fielder, unless something drastic were to happen and they were to trade for maybe a bigger piece. I mean, we've seen what Preller can do going into
So,
opening day.
right. So let me ask you this question.
Sure,
Okay. Um, what about JD Martinez?
JD Martinez. Yep, at the moment, he is still yet to be signed.
Mhm.
Again, uh, this all falls on the teams. Uh, we usually don't agree. A lot of us, it's kind of a popular thing to disagree with anything that Rob Manfred says, but uh, he actually entertained the idea of a free agent signing window, and actually you brought this up last week.
Mhm.
So it looks like you and Rob Manfred might actually agree on something for once.
Me and Robbie. Robbie called me and sent a
Yeah,
voicemail. Just straight up sent a voicemail. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm frustrated that there's so many. And you're a team that is can be very good, but also can use an extra piece or two. And there's plenty of pieces out there. You just mentioned some of them, right? Add JD
Right.
Martinez to your lineup. Forget about it. It's amazing, right?
Yeah,
And
why
so,
not? Why not bring him in on a 1 year prove it? Or he already has proven that he can
mhm.
do it. That he's still got pop in his bat. So the fact that there's 30 teams out there and nobody nobody has been able to sign him yet.
Mhm.
Is this a him problem or is this a league problem?
Mm-mm. No, that's another podcast episode that we'll have to talk about when the season starts.
Right.
But okay, so we covered that. We covered kind of injury reports. We covered kind of roster moves. I'm gonna look up one thing before I ask you to play a little game with me, and I'm going to look up the San Diego Padres, and I'm looking up they start with two in Korea next month,
Correct.
right? And then what they do is they go home and they have four with the Giants, and then they have three with the Cardinals. So they flip flop with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have four with the Cardinals and three with the Giants. Um, your first nine games, are you do you go 6-3? Do you go 3-6?
I would be satisfied with 5-4.
Okay, 5-4. Okay. All right. So
You know,
let's play a
four,
little game here since there hasn't been a lot of moves with the Padres, and I'm sure you guys are still in on some players. We just, your management team hasn't called me yet. They may have. I just got to check my voicemail. Who knows? Um, but let me ask you this. We're gonna play a game called Who's Hot, Who's Not. On paper, showing up to spring training. Who's hot in the American League East?
Baltimore Orioles.
Injury prone Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're still looking like the strongest core players.
Okay.
Um, you know, uh, the Rays are always the dark horse of the entire American League, let alone the entire league. So
Mhm.
we don't know what we're gonna get with that roster. The Blue Jays, I mean, yeah, they're competitive every year, but they just tend to fall flat when it comes to
Mhm.
when it comes to playoff time. Uh, Same thing with the Red Sox. Hot and cold, we just never know what we're gonna get with them. This team looks like they're probably gonna lose 90 games this season.
Okay. So you got the Yankees, you got the Orioles that are coming in hot.
Yes,
Central, American League Central.
American League Central, Kansas City Royals are my dark horse to win that division this year. Added
Royals
some
or Tigers, my dark horse.
I got to go with the Royals. They actually signed two former Padres, Seth Lugo and Michael Waka, two guys that can still throw gas, two guys
Hmm.
that'll still be productive workhorses for you. And then they just signed Bobby Witt Jr. and locked him up for the long term. And then
Yep.
added guys like Hunter Renfroe, guys, leadership veteran pieces that'll be able to provide some pop in that lineup. And also too, Vinny Pasquantino is going to be coming back.
Good. American League West, I know who's hot. The Angels in Oakland are on fire. Like, don't even touch them.
It's going to be the Texas Rangers game.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Texas Rangers or West Louisiana, right?
It
One of the two. Um, who's hot in the National League East?
The National League East right now. The National League East.
Philly, Braves.
I mean, the powerhouse is still going to be Atlanta.
Hmm.
The Phillies the Phillies have proven that they're the better team in the postseason. But we're talking. I mean, you got to get to the postseason first.
Hmm.
And the team that's a shoe in to win that division is going to be the Atlanta Braves.
Okay. Okay. Central.
The NL Central. Um, I say this every year. I always say that the Brewers are somehow, when they trade away guys like Corbin Burns, when they traded away Josh Hader, um, they're almost like the Rays of the National when they can no longer afford to sign, their homegrown talent. Yeah, they trade them away, right?
Mhm.
Um, I think the Pirates might surprise some teams this year.
Okay. Okay. I'm dark horse is the Pirates for me for sure. Okay. Final one. Um, National League West.
Well, that's an obvious one. It's going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. That team's going to win 112 games this season.
Okay.
There's no there's no doubt about it.
I have no problem with what you're saying right there. So
Unless something drastic were to happen, where they just completely implode. But I mean, we're talking we're talking guys like Teoscar Hernandez, Shohei Ohtani, uh, Yamamoto. I mean, the starting rotation still looks a little shaky yet again. The Yamamoto has never pitched. He's never thrown a ball or he's never thrown a pitch in the major leagues. On paper, that entire roster looks completely loaded. It's just the biggest question, in my opinion, is still the starting pitching.
okay.
But then again, a rebuilding team last year, they were what? They won 106 games. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they're gonna be fine. Exactly. All right. I think we covered it. So I know that it sounds like there should be more, but there's not really a lot of Padres news. Now, next
Yep.
week, the Padres start their games. You and I will be out in Arizona, so it'll be a lot of
Yes,
fun. We're gonna have a good time. And yeah, let's just go out and make it happen.
we will be at Padres Dodgers at Camelback Ranch.
Correct. Correct.
We might see some of the starters maybe play 2, 3 innings, and then after that, they'll start playing some of their single
Maybe not on
AA
the
guys.
first day, first 2 days, but we'll see. It's always fun to watch,
But
right?
then again, I don't think they want to. I think when a team like the Dodgers has some of these guys that are two of their players that are worth a
Yeah,
little over $1 billion combined, I think they want to protect their assets a little bit.
a little bit, a little
A
bit.
little bit.
Well, next week you and I will probably be going live a couple of different times. The Friars on deck might get delayed a little bit this next week just because of travel schedules with spring training. So for those of you that are listening to this, a couple things you need to know. One, this is the last episode that's on YouTube. Everything after that is in the locker room. Okay. We will provide a discount code for you inside the chat of this. And then the second thing that you need to know about this is that is that it though it's weekly with some travel schedules, we might have a little bit of it might not necessarily air on Friday mornings. So just be prepared, right? We'll do our best we can, but again, Rick and I have to give each other a big bear hug, and it has to happen usually once a month. And so that always works, right? So yes, Rick, let's do it next week, right?
I'm excited.
Me too. All right, Top Fan Rivalry followers, we did our best we could with very little data. They didn't give us much to work with this week, but next week we'll be fine. And then the week after that, and then by May we'll talk about that streak that the Padres are on where they're 3-17. No, I'm teasing. I'm just messing with you.
Actually, I do have a little fun stat or nerd nugget, as I like to call it.
Please.
Um, the Padres, when they signed Jurickson Profar last season,
Hmm.
they signed him to a minor league contract on September 1st. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying maybe maybe I'm not saying he was the final piece. I'm not saying he was the clubhouse guy, but he seems kind of like a vibes clubhouse guy. The Padres finished the season 20-7 when they signed him. Just throwing that out there.
Just throwing it out there. I love it. I love it.
Just throwing it out
Uh,
there.
All right, my good friend. We'll enjoy Top Fan Rivalry followers. We hope that you're enjoying this. and we will get you more data next week. Have a great week, you guys. Have a great weekend.